afternoon, everyone. So this session is basically an open chat, or fireside chat with the regional manager of Techstars. He will giving us a brief about Techstars himself and basically how you can apply for the accelerator itself. So this is Ahmed. Ahmed is the regional manager for Techstars, and I allowed him to introduce himself. So Ahmed, tell us who you are and why you're in Lagos.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for joining the session. I think this mic is higher, so I'm not like shouting, so it's fine. So my name is Ahmed. I work for Techstars, which is global entrepreneur networks that helps entrepreneurs succeed. We work around the globe with a portfolio of 1,100 startups. We are now exist in more than 170 countries around the globe that focusing and help entrepreneurs from stages, from inspiration stages to IPO. In short, in nutshell, just to give you a little bit background on Techstars, we actually have three kind of programs. First program, we call it the community side, the community program, the startup programs that we work with the community that's still in the early stage of entrepreneurship. We have program like a Startup Week. You are guys here in the Startup Week to learn more about entrepreneurship. We have a Startup Weekend, which is a little bit advanced stage that help you take your idea into startups to work on. We have an accelerator programs that we're gonna discuss more and talk more about it with the accelerator program. So basically our program is a 3 months of a training program taking place so far in 32 countries around the world. So it's a mentor-based program that we work with a big company to put together a training agenda for the participants. For example, we're working with Barclays, the famous British fintech company and banks in the fintech accelerator program in Cape Town. We're working with Amazon on voice recognition in Seattle. We're working with Ford on mobility. We're working with Metro on hospitality. We worked before with Disney on creativity, and we have music with Amazon. So we work with a lot of companies that actually bring their knowledge and experience into the table to help entrepreneurs. The 3 month program mainly focus on mentorship. So you get a lot of mentors that can help you develop your business, create more thoughts, more ideas on the business, how to make a profit out of the company, how to generate money, how to scale and get the tractions, get network more with businessmen, with companies, and then how you pitch, prepare it for a presentation, create your term sheet. The end of the program always end with a demo day, where you go on stage, pitch your idea, and then that's it. This is the whole program is about. We'll go into details more in the programs. I know a little bit early, but we can go to that. Was actually we invest in the startups who get accepted in the program with $120,000. So it's a $20,000 for 4% of the equity, 46% of the equity of the company, and we have $100,000 convertible note for the same amount. So it's actually $120,000 for 6 to 10% of the company. You'll also get plus $1 million in perks and services that have been provided through our network of entrepreneurs that provide. Last things that we have at Techstars, last two things, which actually not really focused here. So we have a VC fund, around the $350 billion investment. Half of them are in management already. So we invest in the startup in-house. That means the startup, they get accepted under the accelerator programs, we can follow on investing in them, as well as we have non-profit Techstars that trying to help more generate entrepreneurs.
So I probably understand that so many of the audiences here have one startup or the other, and are kind of seeking for investments. What's your selection criteria like, and what kind of startups, what should they be looking out for when you're applying to Techstars itself?
Sure. So the selection criteria is pretty simple. We go for team, market fit idea. But let me explain more. So when someone wanted to apply to Techstars, we're looking for a stage where they already have a complete team. We don't accept any solo entrepreneurs to participate. Anyone who came in alone, it's really hard job, it's really tough. You will get tired. You cannot manage everything by yourself. Team is different than co-founders, so we look to have more co-founders like joining you. We have to have a passion, enthusiasm, and enthusiasm among the teams, so you will get along. We see like more that are connected. They complete each other. Not like 5 people. What do you do? We do tech. And who's the business? We don't know. We would love to see more diverse in the team in terms of the background of it. In addition to market fit. So you have a business. What proof do you have that this is a good business? That your business is actually growing? We're looking for the markets that's actually growing, or maybe this is going to shock you, or shrinking. Because that means there's something happening in the market. There's disruptions that actually taking place in the market. It's not stable. It's not like a stable market that's been there for a long time. There is something happening, and you have your progress. So what you have been doing from the past 6 months is your growing scale. So you start with 1% of the market, and then you end up now having with 5-6% of the market, week by week, how this is growing month by month, your numbers are actually getting better or not. So this is really important for us. And the last things also, we look for then the idea itself. Is it unique? There is innovation that we're talking about? You don't have to be, you cannot be the only one in the market. We definitely understand that. So how you can actually build an idea and that's here to sustain. So that's are the criteria that we look for in the applications. To apply, it's a free admission. Anyone in any stage can apply. And let me be clear, any stage can apply if you have those. Even though you might think yourself, I'm too advanced to go to accelerator program. So let me tell you a story. Who watched the Star Wars? Quite a few, that's nice. So in the Star Wars you have the BB-8 that created by a company called Sphero. Sphero joined one of our program in LA, the Disney program. So they were already generating revenue of $50 million. They had plus 65 employees at that time, if I'm correct. I'm not sure about the number. And they thought, no, I want to participate in the accelerator program. They participated in Disney accelerator program. They get to meet Disney CEO, and they convinced him to do the BB-8 for them. So they were only doing a Sphero, which is like similar to BB-8, but it's not the BB-8 itself. And then they published the BB-8 and started generating revenue with millions, hundreds of millions of dollars around the world selling the BB-8 and getting more recognized for that. So it could be any stage. It could be like early stage and seed stage, which is the majority of the applications that we receive, mostly, and or maybe more advanced stages. No matter what your startup is, so we have a lot of programs. We have 2 types of programs. Mm-hmm. First, a program that I mentioned that we work with a company to put it together. So you have to say like you are in music, then you go to Sony, the program with a partnership with Sony because it's focusing on music. We have health, we have mobility, we have a smart technology, smart cities, fintech, mobility, logistics. We have a lot of programs. So you go to this specific program, or the other program that we have a city program that accepts any kind of application. No matter which application you are. You can apply wherever you are, so no restrictions on the location by any mean. Like you can be wherever you are and apply wherever you want. Mm-hmm. If you get selected, we help you move for 3 months to this location. You finish the program, then you go back to where you wanna sit.
So how long is your accelerator for, and what are the things you look out for in founders themselves?
The acceleration program is actually start with 3 months. So for every 3 months, we start opening the application. We receive a lot of applications to participate. We select mostly around 1% of the applications that we receive. So we receive and then we have like 40 applications that we actually more do investigation on, do interviews with. Yesterday, we met a team that said they went to do 20 interviews. Just to get to know more about the team, what they are doing, and so on. And then you go into the 3 months of acceleration program training. We look at the team that unique set. We look for a team that actually have the skills it takes for them to build a business. So for every team, like you can ask yourself, why me, not someone else? Mm-hmm. What the knowledge you have that no one else having this knowledge. If it's your experience, you faced this problem yourself before, you are super excited about building this project, you are full-time committed, absolutely, no question for that. Who's your co-founder? What's the previous experience you guys have? How you get to know each other? That's something really important. And those kinds of stuff, which is the regular, very basic for creating the business.
Yeah. So when it comes to a startup, what are your advice for those at ideation phase? Do you guys actually also fund those with just ideas, or you must have gained like some level of traction itself? And if they've gained some level of traction, I'm sure you have like a key point in which you're looking at these guys are definitely at the right point for investment. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so in terms of like the progress they have, so we look into their numbers. We see when they started working on their startups, what's the month to month or week to week progress they are making. Are getting more return customers? That means people love their idea, they're getting back to use it again, or people just coming and leaving. How the bounce rate. So in the application there is 15 very basic data questions for the team to fill. You can just go to the website techstars.com, choose what accelerator program you want to go to, which city. We have one program online as well called Techstars Anywhere. It's good to mention that. Like most of the programs that happen online because we wanted to reach out to more people everywhere. No structure. They have some restrictions for travels. They cannot go for a long time, for 3 months. Then they take a lot of the content and the training and the acceleration program online. They meet for the last 2 weeks. They end the remedy. So you fill out the applications, and then when you do that, you go through those questions. Very basic. We would love to see the applications that are actually honest, very straight, very direct to the point. You don't have to have like a 5-page business model, business plan, and then you have your pitch deck, and you have, I don't know, forecasting for the next 5 years to about the application. It's very simple, very direct. There is 1-minute video that you don't have to make it like a professional video and edit it. We would love to see you. It's really fine to be. It's more than welcome to be fun in the video. Let us know more about you. Be fun, be goofy. Just let us know who you are, who's the team. That shows like more. We would love to build connections with the people who's also applying, who's participating, and then this is like actually help you go through the application.
So you've been around for a while and you've had some sort of experience of the Lagos startup ecosystem through the week itself. What are your thoughts, and how would you compare, to some extent, I know you can do that with the States itself, or Africa as a whole?
Well, you don't want to like start comparing the ecosystem. Each ecosystem is actually unique by itself. You only do the comparison when you want to learn. Like you see, we have a problem with something specific, then what we can learn from others. So from our understanding for ecosystem, we break down ecosystem into 5 different things. So what startup ecosystem is? First is talent. Are people learning more programmers? Are there here more people going to artificial intelligence, because this is going to be more the future, IoT, blockchain? What are the talents that actually exist in the people? Are they learning business and management and those kind of stuff? And how this talent is actually building? How many programming school there in the ecosystem? How many business school as well that are graduating and teaching entrepreneurship specifically? And then density, which actually, as we said before, like one person cannot build a business. So you need more people. So you get into one great mind will came up with the project, 2 great minds will came up with disruptions, with idea that kind of change the whole. So what are the densities are actually in the working in the ecosystem? How many co-working space there, networking and events, how people actually meet, get together to know about each other and actually start working, so start to connect with each other and work. Third, culture. For the ecosystem, it's really important to have a culture for entrepreneurs. How people actually look for entrepreneurship. Is it well preserved? Is there a role model for the startups that someone went from nothing to working in a startup to actually not just get a fund, but maybe get an exit? in the ecosystem. So start to create a culture. They're a culture of failure. 9 out of 10 of the startups actually fail, and this is completely fine. This is normal. This is in Silicon Valley. This is everywhere. So you don't have to be afraid of that. Are there this culture of failing or the culture that supports entrepreneurs? Because if not, there's no culture of failing, people will be hesitated to take a risk. That means they're not going to go into it and become an entrepreneurs. So culture is important. First, capital. How many VCs there? Are people investing? If there's incentive on the investments, what people can be able to put on the table in terms of the capital, how many ways for me as an entrepreneur available that I can get money to fund my startups. And the last thing is the environment itself, talking here about government policies, how much time it takes to build a business. We see around the globe startups that are not allowed to open a business unless they have $100,000 in their account. And those kind of things, like how this is easy. Also, environment is more about how this ecosystem creating itself as a hub. So Lago's ecosystem is really mature, is really growing in the past year and the year here, year today. So it's growing fast. Is it creating itself as a hub for people nearby, like to come and build their businesses here? The local are fine to build a startup, but you need more. Half of the founders and the startup successful founders in the US are immigrants. So how you actually also try to bring talent more to the people to work for you to develop the business. So those are the 5 keys for the ecosystem that we look. We see a little bit like gaps in some of them to actually try to understand. So you guys, as a more expert in the local ecosystem, it was only 5 days for me to know more. You can also notice some gaps, and then you try to build these gaps to make the ecosystem more growing. See how many startup was this year and how many startup was next year. Is the people, how many VCs? Is it growing? Is it people more investing or less investing? How many people failed? And those kind of stuff that actually help.
Okay, I know Techstars has some kind of startup programs.
Yes.
Could you just talk more about the programs itself, and at what stage for a startup is it relevant to?
Yes. So for us in Techstars, we focus on helping entrepreneurs in any stage. Like no matter what stage you are, we try to build something that actually supports you. And this is our motive, like to help entrepreneurs no matter where they are, in any stage they are. So basically we have a startup week. Let's start with Startup Digest first. Startup Digest, I don't know if you guys, anyone subscribed to Startup Digest. It's a mailing list. You go to Startup Digest, you choose what topic do you want. You can create one, or you can just subscribe to another one. And you say, I would like to get the newsletter about the upcoming events taking place in Lagos. You will have a calendar that those are the events that happen in the city. It's created by a community member, just like yourselves. You think, I want to create a newsletter for all the fintech activities in the country. So no matter what fintech activities you start writing, or maybe there's someone already doing, so you start to help. So this is to help people to get more inspired, learn about the activities. Startup Week, which is a 5-day celebration of entrepreneurship. There will be a lot of sessions, a lot of activities that are happening, more ideas of actually inspire, help people to get inspired, and help people generate ideas. So during Startup Week, you get to meet a lot of entrepreneurs. You learn about a new startup. You came across to your mind some startup, but what next? We talked about density before, how this is really helpful to connect people. So this is where Startup Weekend coming through. It's a 54 hours event. For anyone who has an idea, they can go on Startup Weekend, go on stage, pitch the idea for 1 minute. People who's attending, they will vote for those ideas, select the top maybe 20 idea, and then formulate a team among themselves to work in the next 54 hours. Next day, they will get the mentorship to work on their business canvas model, customer validation, build MVP, finish the program with presentation. They go and pitch their presentations. We've been doing Startup Week more than 4,000 times across the globe in 100 and I think 57, 58 country-ish. And a lot of successful startups that actually came out the startup weekend. Do you guys heard about Easy Taxi? Easy Taxi become like a unicorn. They didn't know each other. They just came to startup weekend. Someone said, all right, I want to do an application to request taxis so taxis can find work and we make the work is easier. And then they came together, they built a business, participated in the startup weekend, worked that after before, and then they came up with an Easy Taxi, and then they sold the company, and the company now, it was like $1 billion plus, I guess, and operating in more than 35 countries across the globe. So it's very proven concept model, can help you learn by doing. So startup weekend is no talk, all action. You don't need someone to lecture you how to run a business. You need to do it yourself and start learning by doing it for startup weekend. You work your business, you go to accelerator programs, we talked about it, and then you go to VCs. So it's really important to also tell what is good to go to accelerator program. So whenever you start, I build a business, I have the app, I have the application, I'm getting some people, some traction, then this is the moment you say, yes, I'm now time for scale. I market fit my product, I proved it's working for like those amount of people, but I need the help to scale the program. I need network, I need support, I need a little fund that actually help me. So this is actually, this is the right time for you to go to accelerator programs. After proving that you have a working model, go to accelerator programs that can help you scale it in the different locations, because this is going to help you, especially if they work with a lot of startups that will help you. Yeah, we know startups face that same problems. This is how they do it to scale their product. So you're actually doing it. The question like, why are you making money this way? It's not going to work. We work with a startup that actually face the same challenge. There is a better way of actually doing it. This is how you generate more money. So they help you scale. They cannot help you saying, no, it's not a good idea, create a new one. You should have already an idea. You should have evidence that actually growing and working, and then you're actually doing it.
Okay. Do you have any specific sort of thematic interest in Techstars?
What do you mean?
Thematic in means of do you focus on any kind of idea, or you have like key areas in which you're looking at?
Well, we're very diverse. We go for more into technological ideas, but we're very diverse. We have program for health, smart cities, fintech, blockchain, IoT, marketplace, e-commerce, mobilities, drones. Okay. And some many kind of ideas, but it's supposed to be like more innovative. There's supposed to be a technology behind it.
But yeah. Do you focus on strictly technical co-founders, or do you have a notion at Techstars that you must definitely have a technical co-founder, but irrespective of your background as a founder, you could just start up a business itself?
Well, you don't have to be technical, but at least you have a technical co-founder with you, so someone should be a technical, especially if you're building something technical. So let's say you're building a platform, and you don't know how to code, and you don't have anyone from your team to code. You have an employee. The employee at 6 o'clock, they finish, or maybe at 5 because they leave earlier. They don't want to stuck in the traffic, so they leave you, and your website crashed. Then you don't have anyone to actually work on. So you need to have a team that actually sustain the business, work full time as much as you are, motivated as much as you are to actually working. And this is one of the number one reason why application fails when applying to Techstars. When applying to Techstars, you have to have the good team, the complete team. You have to show the knowledge. You have to show the skills that you have. What skills do you guys have to build this business? How you're actually doing it, how to work on it. So this is number one why most of startups don't make it. Other reasons might be it's really important, like to talk on, is actually they lack for numbers. So when they fill the applications, we're trying to change the world, we're trying to create a good business, we're trying and just talk with no numbers. They don't have idea about the market size. They don't have a progress. They don't have attractions. They don't have a lot of sales. You cannot convince people with just saying. You need You need very solid problems that connected with numbers. So it's really important also to show numbers while you have it. You need to have a prototype, or you have a demo, or you have the MVP with you. So don't tell me you want to build something that start to sell. You have to show me what you have to build, what you're gonna build. So show me your demo, show me your prototype. This is our demo. They've been testing for 4,000 people. More people actually coming. Even if it's better, but it's better than not having anything at all. To actually doing it. Lack of focus is also something really important. So we receive a lot of applications with grammar mistakes. You don't need that, or there's no structure for answering the questions. You say like you've been reading, then you get lost, then you have to read it again, and then I don't understand what this guy is saying. When you fill the application, give yourself a time when you fill out an application. Read it, give it to your co-founders, maybe send it to your investor or mentor, advisors if you have any. Let them read it for you. They can let you know if you're doing it. Well, if you send an application with the grammar mistakes or you're leaving some questions empty, then we don't see you are the good person who's committed and really wanted to participate in the program, so your application fail. Leaving questions empty. A lot of people, they actually do that. When you apply whatever you are applying to, there's a reason why these people ask you a question. They don't want to make hard work for them, so just throwing questions for them to read later and with no sense. So there's a reason for that. If you don't know the answer, say you don't know, which actually tend to be way better than leaving it empty. Just say, what's the market size for, I don't know, but you should know your market size, maybe more deep question, but anything. Just say, I don't know. Like, or I don't know what's that, which is really important. Just one last thing, for when applying to application is actually get connecting with the team. Especially for us in the accelerator program, we would love to build a network. We would love to see you connecting with us. In the application, go direct to the point, tell us more about you. Don't wait for the last minute to connect with the teams. This is everywhere, like no matter where you're applying to. If you want to approach an investor, you know, like after 6 months, I'm going to go to investor. The investor who invested in this industry, this is the list. And this is, I start to get to know them 6 months in advance. Get them to know you, and then come back again. They will see there's a progress. You're working more. You are extending your work. You're making some progress. Let them know you as a person and like you as a person.
Okay.
And then when you apply, they will get to know you more.
Okay.
So most of the team, most of the investors, most of the accelerator programs, they invest in a team better than the idea, because they know you might face the challenges. Who's going to actually work for that, like solve those problems? It's going to be you. So connect with the team, which is something really important before you even apply, and don't wait for last minute to do that.
So we'll be taking some questions from the audience. Okay. Come on. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hey.
First of all, I want to commend the Lagos Startup Week organizing committee for putting together such a platform. I think this is amazing. So many of us as startups want to find the funding, but we don't know how. And this was very insightful, so thank you to the team. My name is Eduvie. I manage marketing for a comic book startup. We have 2 investors, and we're looking to scale up. We'll probably be talking to you soon. I want to understand how involved is Techstars in the business. So when you fund the business, how involved are you? Are you involved in the daily running of the business? And do you just drop funds and then expect reports at the end of the year? So how involved? And then you said 6 to 10% of equity. So how many people will be involved there? Is it one person? Is it a group of people? You know, so those are the kind of things we're considering before we go ahead to make our application.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a very good question. So O'Shea for that. So basically, yes, the whole team would love to have the whole team to participate during the programs, not just one person. We try to help you to go to where the accelerator program is. We try to help with kind of visas or give you more information where you're going to do the accumulation. We try to find you some selections. So we try to help as much as possible to have the whole team. And we will be involved on a daily basis during those 3 months. So what we do actually, which is something really important, and that's reminded me of something else that's also important, that we actually hire associates in our accelerator program. So when you enter the accelerator program, that will be, who's the team? That will be a managing director, someone being in the same industry you're applying for, already get some exit, already been doing a lot of stuff. We have a program manager to manage the program as well, with 6 to 10 associates. Those associates from different backgrounds, business associates, UX, UI, developers, platform builders, better practices, and so on. And hundreds, tens of mentors, let's say. So those people will actually integrate with you. So the associates will be working with you, kind of part of your team. So you sit, work, help you build your business, and then they move from startup to startup. So each time you will have associates that are actually really, really expert to work in the ecosystem. You get the mentors every time. You get a lot of speakers. So before I came here in one day, do you guys know Gary Vee shop? Gary Vee. It's one of the famous entrepreneurs. He came to mentor our accelerator program at Amazon. He passed by, and like a lot of other people, like very well-known founders. CEO Virgin also came in one of our programs just to get to meet entrepreneurs. So we've got a lot of great entrepreneurs that have been there to actually come and grow the business. For the percentage, it's 6 to 10 based on the startup stage, person valuation of the company. It's really different. There is something unique that we do in Techstars that no one else in the market that actually joining for now. We have guarantee back equity. So if you participated in the program and you finish the program and you said, this program is not for me, I didn't get anything, there is no value, you take back your equity. So we accepted 1,000, like so far we have 1,100 alumni. That happens twice, which is like 0.0002, right? From the total application, which was like more for them, for the team that participated, because they thought if I participated, for example, in Barclays program, I want to have a partnership with Barclays. And when they end up not having the partnership with Barclays, they thought there's no value of that. The value is not with the partners itself. Like, you're not here just to sell the partners, you're doing more. So for them, it was different. So those only 2 startups, about 1,100 startups. It's really important also to mention numbers. We talked about the importance of numbers, but my talk was lack of numbers as well. So we said we have graduated 1,100 startups. We have 10% of those people, they get acquired, exited for the big companies, for Google, Microsoft, Samsung, some others. 80% of the startups, they still active. What we say is active is mean scaling. They mean they hiring new people, going to new locations, they growing their market more and more. And 10% they failed. And as far as we know, there's no one else in the market worldwide. They spread this information. So if you go to techstars.com, you will see every single startup enter our program, what's happening to them, their revenues, how well they are going with their business. We don't know anyone else in the market that actually do that. Maybe for numbers, maybe for more management reasons, but.
I was also speaking to how involved are you after the program? So after the investment has come in, then after the program, are you involved in daily runnings of the business?
I'm not sure about that, but it's not going to be, I think, daily because it's going to be really tough. But we have a lot of stuff to be connected with the teams. So whenever you work, so we have what we call Startup Connect. So you will be part of Startup Connect, Techstars Connect, which is exclusive platforms, help you network with all the people who's already there. You can definitely reach out to the managing director at any point for advice, for more work, you will be using the power of network. So in Techstars, we believe in three things. The power of network, give first to the community, and do more faster. All right? So we'll help you the power of network to use the power of network that's not just for the people who mentored you the program, but all the mentors around the globe, which is like there are thousands of mentors all over the globe. Yeah. Hi.
The job program.
Well, actually, I cannot really answer that because so far about venture capital. So our venture capital is $356 million that invests in-house. We invested in very early stage in company like Uber. We invested in Sphero. We invested in some other companies. So far, we invest in-house, and we invest in the US and Europe. Maybe in the future we'll have like a separate arm that we really invest in local African ecosystem. It's a separate arm. I'm not in charge with that, so I don't know what does it take for them to actually work on it. But happy to connect it with the team to explore opportunities. But what I can guarantee that actually there is a strong belief from the organization that entrepreneurship exists anywhere, opportunities exist anywhere. So they definitely will be open for the opportunity. Maybe logistics might be a hassle a little bit, but we try to understand that and actually work from there.
Yeah, good afternoon. I have a couple questions, but are quite related. I noticed that most of what you talked about were software related. I wanted to ask whether you invest in hardware companies. The other question I wanted to ask is about the team. I'm running a hardware, startup. It's engineering. What I did was designed a generator that runs solely on water. So there's literally no coding. It's engineering work and electrical engineering work. So as it is, there is a problem with expertise because most people in Nigeria are, for whatever reason, migrating to programming and in that sense. So getting people that are skilled in engineering at the ability to work on a startup is not that easy. Sure. So for most of the time, it's myself and a second person that are working on the engineering, but I have to double task and do some of the business side of things and all of that. So what I was ask is, do you help with your network to build teams on some certain areas? And the other question is, team composition. What are the key roles? Are you looking for a CFO, a CMO? What particular key roles are you looking at a complete team?
All right. Yes, so we do invest in hardwares. Sphero, the BB-8 is a hardware. It's not a software company. They created the bulb that actually like move, and you can control it with your cell phone, which is hardware. We have a lot of IoTs hardware companies that we actually get on the program. So it's not only software, no. We have good chunk of hardware. So usually hardware is less in the ecosystems than software. Why is that? Hardware is hard, and you know this yourself. Yes, I know. So that's the reason why, like, if you look towards Southern people, it's not going to be shocked to see the hardware is actually way less than the software, because this is the market. But we do invest. When we talk about complete market, it's about your business. So we don't know. Maybe you are the next Elon Musk. We're trying to fire a rocket to the Mars, and then you must have a rocket science with you. We don't know what's actually your business you do. Usually, in general speaking, you need to have like three type of people that actually working in your startup. You have the hustler, which is actually key businessman, someone like they love to sell. They go to pick up the phone. They call every single one about their business. They hang up on their face, but they call back again. So you have this kind of insulting person. Meet them there in the door just for 1 minute from their time to convince customer and convince partner. You have the hacker, or someone get and actually hack, and you have, I forgot what they call it, but like it's more about the design team. Someone like actually understand how they build a product. Hipster, yes. So you have the hipster who actually work with create your team. So, but it really depends like what you're doing in the business to help.
Because as I said, what I'm working on is
with hackers, please.
Okay, hackers, sorry. What I'm talking about as with my specific startup, all we do is literally like motherboards and stuff. There's no actual programming. So if we're talking about design, I do electrical engineering. I have someone that is an experienced, so mechanical engineer. I have an experienced electrical engineer with me that builds our circuits and all of that. But I do the mechanical work and the power tools and stuff. So there's no real, when you say the word hacker, maybe I wanted to understand what you mean, because you said hacker and designer are two different roles.
Yes.
So if you're saying a designer, me and the person I'm working with, as the co-founder or person working with me, are under design. So in, let's say, my specific area of pure engineering, what would I term as hacker?
Well, hackers can be like anything. If you're building a platform, there should be a hacker in building this platform. You're building application, that should be like people who actually can be able to build this application, whether Android or iOS. For your case, so you have to know how you can build your robot. So you get someone more experienced with, I don't know, Lego experience, getting more stuff together, understand. I don't know about the industry, so you have like more specific things. So yourself can be a hacker because you've been studying 4 years this field. You know about robotics, so you have to build your design, you build your product into this. So it really depends on you, like what kind of skills do you have to actually make you actually work. Are you studying machine learning to combine that in your robots, so robots can more learn to do the stuff, or what does it take to build the product? So that's what you mean for hacker. Hackers build something out of nothing. They build the codes, they build the prototype, whatever it is. Designers can take your robot into the market, so you cannot sell it the way it looks. You need someone more to design that. You need someone to feature it, or for app, you need UX, UI. You need someone to design. You need someone to work on this. You might not have a designer at the first, which is fine if your hacker actually has a background with designing, or maybe just buying some stuff online. With the future, got someone else to help you.
So for instance, this is just an instance. So like, you know, in the era when Facebook came out, there was a MySpace existing, there was High Five and so forth. So how would you, let's say I have an idea in the media and there are already a lot of players in that field. How would your company pick up my own idea and invest in it as compared to those ones? Because it took visionaries to see that Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook was a bit better than MySpace. You get what I'm trying to ask?
Sure.
Yeah.
The majority of them. They're really experienced. They've been spending 20 years in this field to manage this program. And those will be the guys who's actually filtering the applications. So they would know that this is disrupting technologies. They would know this is the future. This guy is doing well. This guy is not. So that's the thing they look for. In that they look for the market as well, how the market's actually growing. They look for your experience, so you are capable to actually work on that. They consult some other people to help them better select the applications. But every startup is unique. Every single startup, even if they are the same startup, but they are different in location. They are different with the language. They are different with the way they're approaching the customers. They are different with the way of thinking. They are different with the team and their perseverance to actually build a business. So it's all different. Nothing like you can say this is the same for everything. It's happening. So yeah, and we have the expert to actually work on that.
Which would you advise? What do you think guys in this room stand the most chance of being able to participate in?
Well, both. I would say both, because at the end of the program, all of them, they follow the same methodology. They follow the same stage that must have attraction. You have the prototype with you. You have the complete team. You have progress, market fit, and then you apply. Well, Startup Anywhere came up to the ideas where there was the ban from the US. So some of the team members, they cannot travel because of the ban. And this is something we truly hate. Why would people cannot participate in the program because of restrictions? Or a lot of people, they wanted to travel to attend the program, they didn't get a visa in some programs in Europe. So we don't want to limit this. We don't want to limit the ability. A lot of people, they said, I cannot travel. I have to take care about my mom. I'm the only son. It's really hard for me to travel for 3 months. This is where came Startup Anywhere. Or now we open an application for that, for people to actually apply. We definitely love, if you can, and you have the capacity, ability to actually do it, to travel to meet the program. So you can meet the mentors face to face, you can meet the team, you can build relation with the other teams. We do insist for a startup anywhere, so at least at the end of the 2 weeks you come to do the demo day, and also like meet the teams, meet everyone else, meet with the network. But it's really up to you guys to think which program I should apply to that actually fit your need for the program. So if you want to look for maybe fintech, so I would say, no, I need more industrial focus to go to Barclays accelerator program in Cape Town, to go to anywhere. So it really depends on the team. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'd like to comment on your efforts and time. So I want to ask a question about the accelerator program. If you are selected per adventure, so does the sponsorship, does it cover like the expenses of the, like where you stay, accommodation and other expenses throughout the stay of the 3 months?
Yes. So this will be paid maybe by the startup. This will be paid by the startups. But when you came to the program, we invest in you, the $127. So maybe you can allocate part of this to the cost, where you're gonna stay, where you're gonna live, or work in the program. So you're not gonna be paying that from your own pocket money, but from startup money, which, sorry? The startup fee is like more about the application, the investment that actually happened. So when you apply the applications, there is no fees. We don't ask you to pay the money to get the application. If you get accepted, at that point, that will be investing in $120,000 in return to 6 of 10%. $100,000 of this 120 is convertible note, and the others will be like it's an optional convertible note. You can take them, you cannot. But the $20,000 for the 4 to 6% is actually required for you to enter the program. That will help us to sustain the business.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Daniel.
Can a startup that came together during startup weekend, immediately after startup weekend, apply for Techstars and get in? Is it possible?
Well, we have a startup weekend teams that actually came through Techstars. We have startup teams that received the first startup 100 investment here in Africa. Some of the startup weekend team also went to YC, and many others like prestigious accelerator programs. So startup week can be like the stage for you to go there. Is it immediately? No, because after like, let's say like you went to startup week on Friday, and then you finish Sunday, and Monday decided to apply. But you won't have prototype, you won't have traction, you don't have market fit, you don't understand how to manage the shares. I would say hold on it for like 3 months, 6 months of working, of traction. It depends on the idea, it depends how much work you have. And then after that, go ahead and apply. And this is not also related to Startup Weekend. So when you go to Startup Weekend, you don't have to go to Techstars. You can go wherever you want. So if you are a Startup Weekend alumni, I think like prefer give it a time where you understand more the business, understand the market, understand what's happening, and then you actually go ahead and apply.
Okay. Let me ask again. Is it possible for Techstars, because there are a lot of teams that come out of Startup Weekend,
Sure.
Is it possible for Techstars to have something like an incubation or an online thing that prepares these teams to get to the point that they are ready for the acceleration program, so that...
You mean like having some online training for the alumni programs?
Yes.
Yes, we have. So already it's available for this November events. That's going to be in Techstars Global Startup Weekend, which is worldwide most attendees event for entrepreneurship around the globe. We'll have like 200 cities doing Startup Weekend at the same time, all of them together, an average 70 people, 75 to 100 participants. They all came together, so we do it. So for the teams who's participating in that specific date, we have materials online that can help build a business, and actually we're providing also kind of help and mentorship and support after the startups. So really important to know for the startup, you have to be a hustler. Information are everywhere. You can go to Techstars TV on YouTube. You can check our materials online. You can check our blog. There's a lot of daily startup content materials can help you, not just Techstars, everywhere. And you have to observe and take this information. So you have, as a team, take your initiative yourself to go and work on it. You don't want to wait for the big guys, the Allaye guys, and they try to help you. You have to be the Allaye for yourself.
I think, okay, one more question.
Okay, I must say very big kudos to the organizers of Startup Lagos. You guys have done a very good job. And then again, I'd want to know if Techstars have any representative in Lagos, considering that there's a huge level of entrepreneurial vibe in Lagos and Africa, Nigeria and Africa in general. I'd love to see Techstars and organizers of Lagos Startup organize a boot camp, because you can really begin to understand fully the level of entrepreneurial spirit you have in Nigeria and of course in Lagos. So I think to really understand and be able to extensively touch into the various young people who are doing big things, I think 1 week is not enough. So, but then kudos. But I think you can collaborate and organize a boot camp somehow, something a bit longer than 1 week that would help you really understand and of course benefit from the entrepreneurial spirit that is big in Lagos and Nigeria. So mine is more like a suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thanks.
I don't know if you mentioned earlier, but I'd like to ask, do you have specific industries you focus on, or you welcome any industry idea?
Yes. Well, just a quick comment to your suggestions. We absolutely would love to have more presence here. The question always when, what's gonna be, how soon, what kind of challenges we're gonna face, and we are here to answer those questions so we can make it happen, maybe very soon. So absolutely, we see the value you saw in the Lagos ecosystem. We don't have representative yet, or we don't have legitimate program that we run ourselves, but that absolutely will be at some point very soon. To your question, as I said, we have two accelerator programs, two types of accelerator programs. We have corporate focused industry. We have we'll work with the big companies to put together the program that's going to be what's this company actually doing. So we try to leverage from this company's knowledge, experience, data, research, and everything they have into this industry. So we give an example, Barclays for fintech, Metro so we have Gingo for smart cities in Dubai. We have, we have Air Force, US Air Force to focus on stuff regarding to this industry that opened recently in the US. And we have city program, Techstars Paris, Techstars Berlin, Techstars London, which is this is open for all the applications. So city program or corporate focus program. But you can apply for both. Even if you are fintech, you want to apply to city program, you can do that.
Thank you all very much, and that will be the end of the session. The next session would be getting press for your startups. We have Adewale Yusuf in the house, Belarus Okuji, and Edive Martin starting in the next 5 minutes. Any last words?
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Please don't hesitate to email us if you have any questions. We'd love to see you coming to our accelerator program, and we'd love to, more importantly, to see you growing in the ecosystem. Thank you.